So Andy Williams, I own a number of companies in the cannabis space. Medicine Man was the first I started in 2009. Medicine Man Technologies we started in 2014. So we had learned a lot of things about how to run an industrial cannabis cultivation operation as well as retail. And we knew that a lot of people were trying to get into this industry. So we started a consulting company called Medicine Man Technologies that helped the people that had the money and desire and the passion, business acumen to get into the cannabis space, but didn't have the know-how. And we provided that know-how. And the services we provided were helping them to get a licensed in whatever state that they were in. Usually it's a competitive licensure. So having somebody who knows, the operating one of these facilities goes a long way to helping to win a license. We designed and built facilities, trained employees, got systems up and running, and helped them open doors. Our business expanded to other products and services. We now help people that are in the business but not doing as well as they thought they'd want to. We help them do better. We have products such as Success Nutrients, which is the nutrients that the plant use to grow, and so everybody in the cannabis space growing plants can use that nutrients. It's designed specifically for marijuana and is the best nutrients I've ever used. Then we also have a supply company called Big Tomato, where we supply the cultivators with the equipment and consumables that they use in order to grow cannabis. And we have a book called 3-Alight that teaches people at home, because a lot of states you can grow at home legally. It teaches you how to grow cannabis and grow it very well, as well as an app that goes along with it. So we're in multiple aspects of the industry right now.
Yeah, it would sound like it. It's interesting to hear where you came from, helping other companies. Is that a lot of companies in America and in Canada are in need of that, because there's a lot of people. It's a lot easier to not go through the growing pains and instead have someone teach you how to go through those and don't have to learn through, hopefully not through error after error, but also getting into ancillary products like it sounds like as well. Do you guys grow it all? Do you guys have your own facility, or are you more so in ancillary products and also doing consulting services for these different cannabis companies?
Right now, Medicine Technology is in the ancillary space. So we help people do it, and we provide products to them. So we provide products and services to the cannabis space. I personally have my own licenses in cultivation, retail, extraction, creating products, selling those products. And I even have the first research license for cannabis in the United States, owned by a cannabis company. Medicine Man Technologies is now pivoting to become an operator. So we've come at it opposite of what you might see out in the marketplace right now. All these big companies that you hear about started with the business acumen, the money, et cetera. They're buying assets in order to create a portfolio, and they're learning about the business. We did it the opposite way. We learned about the business through our own hard knocks and blood, sweat, and tears, and expanded our products and services. And now we're going to become a large operator. And so I'm very excited about this new direction for our company, and looking forward to making announcements on that front.
Yeah, very interesting. And yeah, it is a different route than many other took, where you're obviously researching about these different companies, the sector, different states, what's going on, what's working, what's not working. So you can imagine that when you start going into that actual process of being that producer yourself, where you've learned from all these different case studies in the past. Is there certain states that you were focusing on to begin with, and is there an expansion plan of being all across all the legal states, or you want to focus on a certain one or two?
Yeah, absolutely. So we definitely want to be global. We picked this moment in time because of our reputation and our contacts, not only throughout the country, but specifically Colorado. Colorado's law that right now is preventing cannabis companies from being owned by public companies is going to change this year. In January, a bill will go through the House and the Senate of Colorado and pass. We have a new governor, Jared Polis, who's going to sign this bill, I believe, in early February. And the bill right now, while not complete, we're targeting mid-year for effectivity of this. And because of our reputation here and of course the contacts that I have, I've been working in this industry since 2009, we're going to be able to really target on the best operators in Colorado, which is really the epicenter of where the cannabis movement started. The best operators, best products, best you name it, is here in Colorado, and we're going to have a great opportunity to roll that up. We are also looking at deals outside of Colorado right now. We have over, we've had well over 100 clients with Midas Letter Technologies. We're currently working in 15 states. We've had clients in Australia, New Zealand, Croatia, Germany, South America, of course also United States, Puerto Rico, and Canada, and then also Canada. So we have a large footprint of clients that have worked with us and trust us, and they're all certainly people that we're going to target for talks about acquisition if we like the marketplace and the business. And so we have a lot of plans in the near future, but focused in Colorado initially.
Mm-hmm. No, it's good to hear, right? And yeah, Colorado has been the epicenter for cannabis, especially in the United States for many years now. So it'll be interesting to see that progression. You're saying obviously the news releases still need to come, you need to announce different things, but you're looking at that in a very short term, or are you looking maybe like Q2, Q3 of 2019? Are we talking very soon?
No, we're talking Q1.
Q1.
We've been laying these plans down. Yeah, we've been laying these plans down for quite a while now, and we're in the execution mode. And so I do believe, and we have announced that we're going to be making this pivot, that in Q1 we will be making announcements to achieve these goals.
Very nice. And switching gears a little bit to your share structure and your stock itself. You're currently trading on the OTC, I believe. Is it MDCL, I believe?
That is correct. We're a flex company on the OTC.
Okay, and what is your current share structure looking like for investors who are seeing this and saying, you know what, this is a company who's been going into technology, they're just about to start going to production, so it's got that, that little bit of, okay, maybe I should look into this because there's about to have even more top line revenue coming out of this. But when it comes to your current share structure, when it comes to early private placements or anything like that, is there anything that shareholders should be looking out for? Is there a private placement that's going to be coming due for warrants or anything like that in the near future that's in the money?
Yeah, we do have a private placement right now. We're raising an initial fundraise, not overly large, but large enough to make some of these early acquisitions that we're talking about and growing the infrastructure of our company. And I can certainly talk to people about that if they're interested. I can't go into details over this, but we've been very careful about how we've grown our company. We don't have hundreds of millions of outstanding shares of stock that are out there. We don't have huge warrant structures that are going to put caps on the market as time goes on. We don't have any debt. We've been very careful about that, and with this raise, we are going to continue to be careful.
No, I appreciate that very much, going through that. And I noticed that you're not on the CSE. A lot of American companies have chosen to come on to CSE for some liquidity and being a part of the Canadian market in that way. Do you have any plans for that, or are you sticking more so on the American side when it comes to listing your stock?
We were looking at that pretty aggressively before October of this year. I think it was October that you saw the 30% drop in the Canadian market in a very short period of time. And while that's still on my radar, I'm waiting to see what's going on in Canada for a little while before I further those plans. It is on my radar. I do see that as an opportunity for a large fundraise in the future if we want to do a list or other opportunities that may present itself. But right now, I am focusing on the OTCQX. I think, have you heard about the States Act that's coming down the pipe this year, I believe?
And which one? I know that there's a few bills that people are speaking about in particular, but is this specific to Colorado, or are you talking about all the states in the U.S.?
So on the federal level, so I'm on the board of the Cannabis Trade Federation, and we've been working very hard at the federal level. And Cory Gardner is carrying a bill that we've been championing. That's a tough word to say for him with him, and it's called the States Act. Elizabeth Warren is also a sponsor of it, and the States Act will federalize cannabis. So much like alcohol or gaming, the federal government will say if the states have regulations that control this product, the states can run those programs without federal interference. More importantly, the operators in that space will not be violating the Controlled Substances Act. So that will do a couple things for this industry. It'll fix 280E, which is a tax code that doesn't allow retailers to take tax deductions that most people would, and the effective tax rates are very high. It also has the opportunity to fix banking. And so when that happens, I think you're going to see financial institutions in the United States start looking at banking some of these expansions, as well as the NASDAQ and NYSE start looking at opening up to the U.S. cannabis companies.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the biggest reason why a lot of these American companies chose to go on the CSE and list there is because of how hard it is to raise capital in the United States when it comes to cannabis, but also the banking concerns. And that I believe was the Cole memo. I believe that's what it was in the beginning. When that was pulled, that's what really started this ripple effect. Everyone's like, oh no, what's going on with American cannabis? But I believe most states, yourself and most people are under the understanding that it's an inevitability now. It's not is it going to happen. It's more of a when. For cannabis to remain a Schedule I drug, it absolutely is ludicrous, to be very honest. It makes no sense because there are medical benefits to that. So it'll be very interesting to see that come through. But so that would be a huge impact, I can imagine, for yourself and many of the players in the United States. But I definitely have to ask about one more bill that's currently going on. A lot of people are speaking about it right now, and it's the Farm Bill. Do you guys have any access or any plans to be in the hemp industry, or do you think just in general that's a huge step forward for the industry as a whole that will benefit you guys?
Yeah, I love this, the opportunity that the hemp industry is going to provide. Textiles as well as the CBD oil and everything that will come from it. I have looked at different hemp operations, or a different idea with hemp. In terms of how to get into that space. I think it's going to be a very large market. I can't go into details. None of this is public, of course, but it's a two-edged sword. Right now, with cannabis companies are providing cannabidiol or CBD oil to customers that need it from their licensed facilities. As more CBD becomes available, of course, that takes market away from the current licensees. It's great for consumers because they'll have different access to it. But there's not a lot of understanding on the effects of CBD alone, rather than having the other cannabinoids involved with it. I think it's more effective when you have some THC with it, maybe just a trace amount, but still the endocannabinoid system, I think, brings it in better. So it is going to affect the cannabis market as it is today, but creating a much larger CBD market, on just the regular market as it is. So it's a two-edged sword, but I definitely am looking at different opportunities within that sector.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I think it does pose a lot of benefits, while also a lot of challenges in the sense of, how does that affect current, especially medical providers and all of that when CBD is coming out. But I do agree, the more people I speak to, you really get to look at the whole package of the different cannabinoids and trichomes and having them all together. So it'll be interesting, but we're still a little ways on the research for that. But no, I appreciate very much you taking the time and coming on the show, letting us know a little bit more about your company and what you plan on doing in 2019. Again, you can find yourself on the OTC MDCL. And do you have a website where people can look a little bit further into what you've done and what you'll continue to do?
Yes, the website for Midas Technologies is that, medicinemantechnologies.com, or to see a broader portfolio of what I own, medicinemanportal.com. And I think this is a great time to invest in our company. We have expansion plans that are about to take off, and you're never going to find the stock at the price again, I don't think.
Perfect. Well, I appreciate very much for you coming on. I look forward to possibly getting you back on the early new year and see what you've been doing and the progression that you guys have made in the next little while. Thank you very much for coming on.